Yep, that's me. You know, for as far back as I can remember, I've always loved cars. Loved building them, driving them, working on them with friends. I tried to think back to when I actually got hooked. Can't remember. But any car guy knows his first set of rims, first time he cut his muffler off, the first time him and his bros did a motor swap. This channel, Follow Our Builds. Join us as we travel around the world and talk to awesome YouTubers, car builders, fabricators. Come along for the ride, and remember, if you ain't talking projects, we don't want to talk. Let's go.
Action. Alright, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Alright. So for those who don't know,
Yeah.
other than your Caleb and your channel's built, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Ooh. So everything else.
Yeah.
My name is Kaleb Zarang, and I run a channel called Built on YouTube. Basically, what you need to know about me, as far as YouTube is concerned, is I take cars and make them wider and lower and faster. That's it. We like to start with cars that are unloved, cars that maybe don't have a big aftermarket support or have been sitting for a really long time, like this one behind me is what used to be an MGB. Now we're calling it the RW MGB. And we like to go through them and just make them really, really sick and give them kind of a new lease on life.
Very good answer.
Thanks, man.
All right. So if you can go back to when you first started YouTube,
Yeah.
who stood out in your mind that you looked up to?
Yeah. Okay.
Who was big back then?
Well, I would say who was big. Mighty Car Mods were like the only big automotive YouTube channel. They were like the automotive YouTube channel. Chris Fix was pretty big, but the guy that got me started was actually Chris from B is for Build. So I was watching one of his videos where he painted his FRS, the very first one. And he had done this wide body kit on it. I was researching building a wide body kit for my MR2, and I found his channel. And he painted this car in his backyard, which was something I'd experienced before, so I knew the challenges that were there. And he did it like 3 times, and I watched him do it the whole time I was watching. I was like, man, I could do this. Like, I could make YouTube videos. You know, I'm doing this stuff anyway in my own driveway, and I'd always kind of felt like I needed a shop to make videos. You know, and so. I don't know what it was. I was watching one day, and I remember my wife coming in, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And she's like, I had a feeling you were going to say that. And so just started going out and working on the car that I had at the time, which was a 98 Dodge Neon, which is pretty rad. Project Snowflake.
I've seen that on
the
the
first one. Yeah. So we did that, and then almost immediately rolled into my MR2, which was like the big build, first big build on the channel.
MR2. I saw the MR2. Do you regret selling it?
No, man. I don't know. I don't really get super attached to cars. At least I have in the past. I think I'm attached to this one. But the MR2 funded this build, so I needed money to put into this to get it off the ground, and I had to. It was like keep the MR2 and have this build take 12 years, or sell the MR2, inject some cash into this thing, and get it going. So yeah, so I'm glad I did.
So if you was to look back, you've been doing it 6 years?
Yeah, 2016 is when I started. January 2016.
Would you know that you ended up here?
No way, dude. Yeah, I started in 2016 just as a hobby. You know, I wasn't like pursuing YouTube as a career, or as a job, or to get paid even. It was just like, I'm doing this stuff anyway, and I'm tired of doing it by myself, so I want to share it with people. And so yeah, I would have never thought, and it even stopped. Like I stopped YouTube for like 6 months at a time in my first 2 years, and I would come back and see that people were still watching videos. And so it was like, that was what kind of pushed me into like, oh, I'm actually going to try this. And then, yeah, so then 2018 rolled around, and the MR2 started gaining some traction. I did this video called Ferrari Parts on a Toyota that just like made the channel start growing, and came back home again, kind of started talking to my wife about it. It was like, I think this is something that could be a job. And so midway through like 2018, I started pursuing that and kind of set this goal, like I want to do this full time. And then we started that by the end of 2019. Gotcha. So really a solid year there where I was like, we're doing this thing, you know?
Hammer down.
Yeah, right.
Gotcha. The diffuser.
Yeah.
build on the MR2.
Yeah.
I seen that one. That hooked me on that build. The chassis mounted rear wing.
Yeah, that's an old school one, man. That was like the first. It's like the first crazy thing I did on the channel. Yeah.
I commented on, I don't remember which video. I'll put a screenshot of it in, that you should have way more subs.
Yeah.
This is back probably when you had this
probably
5 years ago.
20, 30,000. Yeah.
All right, so being passionate about cars is something that if you're not a car person, it can come off like nobody really gets it.
Sure, yeah.
So
they're inanimate.
Explain to people just a little bit about what makes you passionate about cars.
Okay.
Where did it come from?
Yeah. So, dude, from the time I can remember, I literally can't remember a time when I wasn't taking stuff apart, or trying to put it back together at least, but, building. Whether it was like Legos or, my dad worked on computers when I was a little kid, so I was like pulling computers apart and stuff. And so it was always looking for something to build, something to make. At the same time, I was really into art. So growing up, I did a lot of drawing and painting and just any sculpting, any kind of art I could get my hands on. And so all of that kind of converged into cars for me. So when I got to be like, I think 11 or 12, Fast and Furious was pretty big. And then also Need for Speed Underground came out, which was the first time I realized you could like custimize and build cars. Like you had body kits and all this. Yeah, all this stuff that like I didn't even know this world existed, And so I just kind of like took it all in and really tried to figure out like what this meant for me as like being able to create things, And so when I turned 15, my dad bought me this Fiero, 1984 and a half Fiero, which is the worst. It's the one that catches on fire. That's the one I got. We got it for $1 because it didn't run. So we got it running and then bought like a kit car body and put the kit car body did a bunch of fiberglass work and did all kinds of stuff, got it painted, like customized this whole car. It was my car. Like I picked the color, I picked the interior, and it looked like the quality of the work was pretty good on the body work. The interior was awful, but it looked like a 15-year-old built it. It was like bright blue. The interior had like NOS seat covers, which I wish I still had pictures of. But it was mine, it was like this thing that I created. Like I thought about it, we built it, and then it was there in real life. And from that point on, it was like, okay, I got to do this more. So I actually ended up selling that car, much like the MR2, and it funded projects for the rest of like my high school career. I did a lot of BMWs, which is a huge mistake. Got back into Fieros, and then did a bunch of other cars too. And it's always been about that for me is building something that you hadn't seen yet, right? And that's really what Built thrives on, like the chassis mount wing we talked about, the Ferrari diffuser, this entire car, that entire truck, like anything we do on the channel, minus the Porsche for now, is I want to do something that you haven't seen, right? That I could build something, whether it's a car, truck, whatever, body kit, that no one's ever seen before. It might come out really good, it might not come out that great, but either way, it's going to be something new and exciting, and it's going to be something that I kind of have dreamt up,
Right. For those of y'all who don't know, this man, I've seen him make body kits out of clay,
paper,
styrofoam, paper,
cardboard,
a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I had an attempt where I tried to make a rear spoiler out of cloth.
Yeah. That's a hard one. Spoilers are.
It failed horribly.
Yeah. Spoilers are hard.
Did you ever have neon?
Did you video it?
Yeah.
Did I ever have neon? Dude, are you kidding me? Of course I had neon. Did you? You had neon, right? Yeah. We came up in it's coming back too.
Wide body, lowered. There's hydraulics, rat rods, missile cars, crap boxes, ricers. What is the next fad? What's coming new?
I see what you're saying. So like 2015 was like the wide body era, and everything was like bolt-on wide body. I think that from a bodywork perspective, I think that it could go a couple ways, but I think Liberty Walk's onto something. So Liberty Walk has started doing like box flares, like 80s style, like Group B style stuff, and they've been doing it on all kinds of Ferraris and GTRs and stuff. I think we're going to see a lot of that because 80s style is just coming back in all facets, right? So I think we'll see a lot of 80s style stuff coming back. As far as like style of cars, it's so hard to say, but it does look like, we went through kind of a slam it and camber it era, right? And
no cares given.
Yeah, function doesn't matter anymore. Like, let's just make it look really cool. And I think we're kind of seeing the pendulum swing back towards more like functional cars that can really go fast, cars that can really corner well and handle well. And that's pretty exciting. from like a driver's standpoint, you know. But yeah, dude, I don't know about trends like body working trends. Neon's coming back, which I'm stoked on, but it's like LED, so it does all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah.
And then I think wraps are gaining more traction too. I think wrap, we're gonna see a lot more wrapping happening, which I'd rather paint it, but it is what it is.
That's right. Let's see. You were born. When were you born?
1991.
91.
Is that the question? That's the question.
So take us back to Saturday morning that you remember as a kid. What were you watching? What?
Okay.
How did it feel?
Yeah. Saturday mornings, dude. Oh, we just, man. Okay, so when I was a kid, we were a foster family, so we would bring kids in to live with us for seasons, right? And so there was, for the majority of my like little kid years, you know, from like, I don't know, 5, 6, maybe 7 to 10, we had like 5 boys in our house and like a little girl. And so it was wild, like it was just absolutely wild. I grew up in Lawrenceville, which is a suburb outside of Atlanta. And it was, yeah, we had like a whole baseball team. So we would be going out, we'd be outside playing baseball, riding bikes. Cars weren't really a part of my life as a kid. My dad didn't really work on cars at the time. He was a computer, what did he do? He was a software engineer. And so he was working on computers and stuff all the time in the house and like carpentry, but not really cars. So yeah, I was either playing or I was building something out of wood in his shop. I'd build like these really splintery airplanes and cars and stuff, you know, just anything I could. And Connects, I was really into, you remember Connects by any chance?
Them.
Yeah, I was really into Connects as a kid.
Yeah. So what was on the TV?
TV.
Cartoons?
Dude.
Movies?
Let me think. I think the cartoon that I was most obsessed with as like a kid, like 9, 10 years old, was Rocket Power. Rocket Power, and I think you missed Rocket Power just a little bit, right? Do you remember Rocket Power?
I don't remember it much.
We're like 5 years apart, right? So yeah, it only had a heyday for a few years there, but like X Games was huge, skateboarding was cool, rollerblading was like the coolest thing you could do when I was a kid, right? And so Rocket Power like took all that. It was like an extreme sports cartoon. It was absolutely ridiculous, but I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Did you watch American Gladiators?
Oh, of course.
Power
Dude.
Rangers?
And we had 5 boys, so it was like we reenacted it.
That's
you know,
right.
So we would like get sticks and fight each other off a trampoline. My parents were smart enough to put a trampoline in the basement for us, so
wow.
with concrete floors. So we went to the emergency room a lot. But yeah, dude, we'd reenact that. We actually turned our backyard into a theme park once and charged kids from the neighborhood to come play on it, and it was really dangerous, like
That's
really
awesome.
dangerous.
We got pictures of that?
No, but like it was like, you know, 8 or 9 year olds that made like attractions. So they like made a water slide on a slide that wasn't meant to be a water slide, and a lot of kids left bruised from that. And we would like stand on a bridge and like throw stuff at them. Like that was one of the, dude, it was crazy. It's good times though.
So
we're all still alive.
That's right.
Yeah, we're here.
So I think back, if I told you I'm the Green Ranger. Who are you?
Tommy.
Yeah.
I'm Billy all day, bro.
Blue Ranger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
You had Tommy, Billy, Jason.
Yeah.
He's the Red Ranger.
Kimberly
Pink.
First girlfriend in my life.
And the Black Ranger.
Well, yeah, one of them.
Yes.
One of them.
She was cute.
Yeah. I mean, she's no, you know, no.
Saved by the Bell?
Yeah, so I was about to say, she's, dude, I was about to say, yeah, she's no Kelly Kapowski. No, is it Kelly Kapowski? No. Is that Kelly Kapowski? Yeah, okay. I thought I was right. I was right. She was the first love of like every person, every boy from the 90s and late 80s life. Saved by the Bell? You watch Saved by the Bell, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like the girl. I mean, she's one of 3 technically, but she was the girl, you know?
I didn't know anybody's name back then.
Wow, dude. Yeah, no, you said Power Rangers. I totally forgot. I wasn't thinking about this, but yeah, Power Ranger huge. Any ninjas, 3 ninjas. I don't know if you were into that. That was a little young.
Yep, I remember them.
And then Ninja Turtles was huge. My 4-year-old birthday party was the Ninja Turtles movie.
I had
Fell
a
asleep.
Bedspread, sheets.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I had a Billy costume that I wore a lot, like more than just on Halloween, like a lot. A lot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's so funny, man. I hadn't thought about that in forever.
All right, so hit the viewers with your top 5 favorite or cars you'd love to have.
Ooh.
You can't name anything that you have.
Okay, yeah.
Top 5.
Four?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so stuff I hadn't said before.
Yeah.
Oh, man, but you're going to give away some of my secrets. It's all right. All right, so right now, one of the number ones on the list is a Volkswagen SP2. Do you know what that is?
Nope.
Of course you don't. Nobody knows what it is. I love weird stuff, and it's weird, but it's a beautiful car. We just never got them in the States, but they got them in Brazil. Very, very cool. So that's on the list, and I may have a way to get one, so that's up there. I have always wanted, and I don't know that I ever will, because my mentality about cars just doesn't really fit with this thing, but I've always wanted a F355, Ferrari F355. Ever since I was like, honestly, Fieros, because it's like the super Fiero. It's a Fiero, but it's got like this Ferrari V8 that just sounds incredible. But the only problem is they're ridiculously expensive, hard to maintain, and terribly unreliable. And that kind of goes against everything I'm about. You know, it's like I want to be able to drive it and enjoy it. But it's on there because it's a beautiful car. Maybe we'll just LS swap it or something. So Ferrari SP2. Oh man, we're gonna have to edit this a little bit because this is hard. Is this like budget doesn't matter?
Yeah.
Budget doesn't matter. That's even harder. Okay. I think one of the most beautiful cars ever made, one of the ones that I would love to own, but it wouldn't happen unless it's in kit car form, is a Lamborghini Miura. I love the Miura. It's such a cool looking car. And it's, you know, they're like, I don't know, $15 million or something, but kit cars aren't, you know what I'm saying? So that's up there. All right, two more that they don't know about.
Let me segue this in.
Okay.
Kaleb inspires me because I'm a car guy, right? And if I was asked my top 5, they would probably be comparable with a lot of people's top 5. My man's hitting me with cars.
Never heard of.
Yeah.
You know what car I'd love to own, and I would modify the heck out of it, is a Barracuda. I don't remember what year it is. It's one specific year, and I'm not a big muscle car guy, but it's like my favorite muscle car of all time. Have the opportunity to buy one of those too, but I don't know if we'll do that. But I would love to like unicorn a Barracuda. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Slam it wide, just stupid engine, all that stuff would be really cool. So that's on there. That's a more common one. And then I'm like going through all the. You know what? Another one that I would love to own, and I thought it was going to be in reach, but I looked at them a week ago, and they have like quintupled in price recently. But it's a Volvo P1800. You know what that is? Ah, dude, you're gonna have to Google these. We'll throw them up so they'll know. We'll throw them up on the screen.
Yes.
So P1800 is a Volvo. The way I found out about it is it's actually the car that. Are you familiar with the Cars movies?
Yes.
Like Pixar cars? Okay. Finn McMissile from Cars 2, the spy with the mustache, is designed, his design is based off of this car. It's like a very like British spy car looking thing. Nobody's ever heard of them. And they used to be really cheap, like you get them for like $7,000 for like a decent one, like 15 for like a good one. And I looked last week and a good one's like 50,000, something like that. It's just crazy. But they have a coupe version, which is cool. That's like the spy version. But then I'm a big fan of shooting brakes, which is like what the MG is, where it's like a coupe, but there's like a back, like a station wagon type thing. And they have a shooting brake version that's awesome, just beautiful. So that's on the list too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Truck. Number one truck. If you could own a truck to build.
Okay.
Not like a new truck to buy.
Any truck?
Not the Datsun.
Okay. Not the Datsun, not the Titan. I never thought I wanted a Titan until I got one, but I love that truck.
Like a 40s, 50s, 60s
Yeah.
Ford, Chevy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it would probably be old. I saw. Let me think real quick. No, do you know what I would want? It's weirdly specific, but I've wanted one of these for about 5 years now, and we will have one. But I want a 50s or 60s cab over, on preferably a new chassis. So like a old GMC cab over or something, like the old semi truck. I want to put one of those on top of like a 3500 chassis.
You ever watch Bad Chads?
Oh yeah, dude. That thing he's building, dude. Bad Chad is on a different level.
Favorite country song?
Country song.
Yep.
Oh, man. Dude, you know who I really like? I didn't like him when I was younger, but later in life, it's basically anything from Sammy Kershaw. I love old school country, and then Zach Brown Band just makes me feel happy. You know, so it's like if I gotta feel happy, I listen to Zach Brown Band. Anything old though, man. 90s country was just something different. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I grew up on. So yeah. Yeah. And I love it. I love it.
Favorite
Fun fact.
UFC fighter?
UFC fighter? Dude, this is so generic, but I love Conor McGregor. I just love him because he's like I like UFC.
Conor? Yeah.
Yeah, I like UFC. First of all, it's fun to watch. I'm not really into it, but like I watch fights pretty often, and like I got a buddy that gets pay-per-views and stuff, and so I do like UFC, but it's always more entertaining if he's around because it's just like you don't know what to expect.
We're not here to take part.
Yeah, right. yeah. He's just he's unpredictable, and I think that's really fun. So yeah, that's got to be my favorite.
Favorite wrestler?
Wrestler, like from when we were kids, wrestler.
Yeah.
Ah, dude.
Like you got Hulk Hogan.
I know. I
Sting.
can remember pretending to be Hulk Hogan. Sting scared me as a kid.
Yeah.
I didn't like his face. So, but yeah, I mean, I can remember regularly pretending to be Hulk Hogan. So I guess it's got to be Hulk Hogan. Yeah.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan. All right, let's see here. Favorite cereal? You can do
Cereal.
now versus when you were a kid.
Magic Spoon. It's protein cereal that I did an ad for in one of my videos. No, it is pretty good though.
I've seen that one.
Yeah. That's free. No. Yeah, I like my favorite cereal.
You can throw out a few
Yeah.
if you can't name one.
I love Captain Crunch, but you know what I hate about it is it destroys your mouth. Like, what's in it?
The meme.
You know?
Have you seen the meme? I'm
I
ready to
haven't.
be hurt again.
No, I haven't, but that's, yeah. No, I do. I think that's probably my favorite cereal, but it hurts. It's
Fruity
genuinely
Pebbles,
painful.
Cocoa Pebbles.
It's you? Fruity Pebbles is you? Oh, yeah.
Well, Cocoa Pebbles probably my favorite.
I don't like how they get soggy so fast.
With the milk.
Yeah,
Milk
okay.
Happy.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
That.
Yeah.
All right. This might be a hard one.
Okay. I'm ready.
It's a two-part question. What do you love most and what do you hate most about the car scene, car culture?
About the culture?
Yeah.
It's a split. It depends on where you're at, I guess, in the car culture. I think, though, as a whole, there's a very large focus on the car that you build looking like professional versus like you just building the car, and that bothers me. And that's probably the thing that I dislike the most. Most people that actually build cars, so like I build something, if it's not perfect, I can tell if the person critiquing me actually builds cars because they'll say something like, dude, like I love how you use this. Next time, try this. Like I've done this and it worked in the past or whatever. I get that a lot with fiberglass. I get a lot of, hang on, let's wait for this car. Very loud trucks through here. With fiberglass, I get a lot of like, I'll build something and somebody will come in and be like, hey, this is better than cardboard. Use this next time and you'll see better results. But those are few and far between from people that say, that looks like garbage, you should never do this again, you shouldn't let anybody do anything, like you should never touch a car again, or your work is trash, or whatever, you should have spent more time, or you should have done this better, or whatever. I mean, that stuff is everywhere, especially on the internet, because you can take a picture and zoom in and look right up on it and see if there's an imperfection. Whereas like, if you're at a car show, it's interesting, next time you're at a car show, look closely at the cars, like actually look at them like you're looking at an Instagram picture, and you realize that the majority of cars, if not all cars you see, have some imperfections, have some stuff wrong with them, have some thumbtacks in the headliner, or like chips in the paint, zip ties. Yeah, that stuff is there. But yeah, I feel like maybe to put it short, the internet car culture over critiques, and that's not a good representation of like the car culture when you actually go to a show.
Because that can cripple somebody wanting to build that's not.
Yeah, it cripples everybody wanting to build, man.
Yeah.
It's what kept me from building what I wanted to. So I built cars growing up, but it was always kind of, in my opinion, lame. It was like I was not doing the stuff I really wanted to do. I was worried about hurting the value. I was worried about what people were going to think, that I ruined this cool car, whatever. And with the MR2 was the first time I was like, you know what? I bought this car. Like, I actually own this thing. It's not anybody else's. I can cut it. Yeah. And yeah, that first time I was just taking a grinder to a car and like running a screw in it. Was like, okay, here we go. I'm actually going to build. So, and that's what I tell people too that want to build. It's like you just do it, and who cares what it looks like at the end? Like, do the next one better.
So, is it safe to say what you love the most is the opposite of that?
Yeah, people making their own stuff, dude. I get builds sent to me a lot, which is probably one of the best parts of this thing. Is people send me the stuff they're working on. I got one today actually. A guy just sent me a WRX that he's been building, and a lot of times they're not the way I would have built the car. Sometimes I don't really like the way it looks, but the response is always the same, and like, dude, this is awesome, I can't believe you built this thing, right? Because for me, it's like, I don't care what your car looks like, it's not my car. Like, that's your
As long
car.
as you dig
build
it.
it however you want to build it, right? But I'm more interested in the culture of building continuing than anything about the actual build itself. Because I'm afraid that hot rodding, what we do, is a dying breed. And the government is trying, I hope we don't get you flagged for that.
Electric.
The government is trying to get rid of it, right? And not just electric, but just like all the laws against modifying cars. You had that kind of first step into that with California's exhaust law. But overseas, like I get people from Germany messaging me all the time, like, dude, if we did this, we would get arrested. You know?
Squatted trucks.
Oh, the worst thing that's ever happened to automotive. The worst thing. I'll explain why.
All right, so this one will be an easy one.
Okay.
Considering your channel name,
Yeah.
Build Official,
Mm-hmm.
you're given $200,000.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
We buying a showroom car,
No
or are you
way.
taking the money, using it to buy? What are you doing with
I'll
it?
tell you what I do with it. I already know. It's 100,000 of that. Yeah. I think this is what I would do with it anyway. Yeah. 100,000 of it would build a shop. Land around here is real cheap. I could build a really good shop in Alabama for that price, which I know people in California are like, you know, whatever. But that's true. So that would go to a shop right off the bat, and getting me into a place that's sealed, because this place leaks, with good concrete and a lift and all that stuff that would make life a lot easier. And then the other part of that, if it's all going to the channel, which it would, I guess, the other part of that is going to building cars. Yeah, but no, I don't, dude. I don't really see the point in like super expensive cars. You know, I just don't really see. I don't get excited. I get excited to like see a Lamborghini, but I don't get excited about thinking about maybe owning one.
I don't either.
It just stresses me out, really. And I would just rather build something than that. So it'd probably mean like I've got an engine swap that I don't think I'm gonna say in this video that I'm going to do. I've already set myself to it. Like, I'm gonna do it. I don't know the chassis it's going in yet, but it's one that nobody does, and it is just one of the coolest engines on the market. You can comment below and guess what you think it might be, but it's awesome. So I would definitely go down that road. Would be putting that engine in something.
Talking about stuff overrated. LS swaps, will they ever play out? Are they overrated? Do you hate them?
The internet says they're overrated. I don't think so. If you've ever done one, you don't think they're overrated.
They're awesome.
The problem is that most people that call them overrated have never done one. They're just wanting to see the next thing done. And I get that too. Like my dream swap is not LS. It's a very different motor. And it's a dream swap because nobody really does it. And it's cool. It'd be unique and fast. It sounds cool. But yeah, if you're looking to swap an engine in a car and you want a ton of power and a ton of reliability and a ton of aftermarket support and a ton of people that know how to tune it, and it's just like there's no other option, you know. So I don't know. Maybe for the YouTuber, it's time to move into some other things just for variety. But
I'd buy that.
For the builder, like you might just build something, dude. LS everything, because it's just so much better than any engine we've seen.
What is Kaleb's? What car is overrated?
What car is overrated?
What car has the hype and you don't get it?
BRZ. I like them, and I really do, and I think they're great cars. I know they're great cars. There's so many people whose opinions I really trust and say they're great cars. But I base it purely on the market, like the flooding of the market. Like you'll notice, none of the cars I have are really like common. Most people didn't even know this thing in America. Most people didn't know this was even a car until I put it on the channel. And that's just what I've always been attracted to. I think part of that's that first car being a Fiero. It was like, all right, I'm destined for weird cars for the rest of my life, you know. Another weird one I had was a Isuzu Via Cross. You ever heard of a Via Cross?
Mm-mm.
Of course you haven't.
Mm-mm.
That was one of my. I bought that when I was 20, it's just something about me really likes weird cars. If I was ever going to buy a supercar, it would either be a Superlight or a GTM, which nobody probably knows what those are either. I think the GTM is going to get some traction because another YouTube channel just built one, but yeah, that's just any car that's like flooding the market, I'm just not really into, just because I see them everywhere. And it's like the new Camaro. You remember the new Camaro came out and everybody's like, the 09 Camaro is the coolest car ever. And now I see it and I'm like, because they're everywhere. There's probably like 12 of them that have passed since we've been sitting here. So,
all right,
yeah.
What is 2 YouTubers that majority of viewers that watch car stuff?
Don't know about yet.
2 that's known that you like, and
okay.
Throw out 2 that people probably don't watch but are awesome.
Yeah, content creators.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 that two that, like, are we talking car YouTube
Yeah.
strictly? Okay. So two that I really love that I find myself going back to often are Mighty Car Mods. Just because, dude, when
They're
it comes
OGs.
to when it comes to staying true to like who you are and what you're into and what you're doing, like they have not faltered. Those guys could have built a Lamborghini and gotten a ton of views.
5 times over.
Yeah, as many times as they want. The income's there, the ad revenue's there, but they did it because that's not what they're into. And instead of chasing, views and stuff, which would be it's tempting for any YouTuber, they stuck with it. And so I have so much respect for those guys. And then also they're still building stuff that I like and stuff I could afford. I could buy a Mira if we had them here,
Yeah.
So that's cool. So I love MCM. And then a guy that I've really enjoyed watching recently is Rob Dom, which I go through phases with him. I've been watching him for a really long time, but he has recently just started putting out some content that is so interesting for builders. So he's building this 4-rotor all-wheel drive RX-7. He's doing everything like top of the line, which normally I'm not into, but it's just cool because he's doing it all himself. So he's like learning how to machine parts. He's learning how to build race spec wiring harnesses, and he's taking you through that process. And I mean, I've been watching videos from him recently for he has like hour-and-a-half videos, and I watch every minute.
He's top quality.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's and he's building it. You can tell he's doing it for builders, and I appreciate that because it's not for views, because it's like so few people want to watch him build a $15,000 wiring harness, but I do. I'll watch that. Do you want to preface that question? Or we just go.
Yeah, 2 channels that you dig the content. It's awesome, but everybody might not know about it yet.
Yeah, so there's 2. You may have heard of them because they're growing really fast. And I was telling Eric the other day, they're like the 2 automotive channels right now that I'm following that seem like they're growing a lot faster than everybody else. And the first is Super Fast Matt. Have you seen Super Fast Matt yet?
Nope.
Oh, dude, he's awesome.
I'll
So
have to check
Super
him
Fast
out.
Matt is one to check out for sure. He does basically everything. I think he used to be an engineer for Tesla or something. He's building his own project cars. He does everything on a budget, but he's very entertaining. He's funny, and he's smart, so it's really fun to watch. And then Stanceworks channel. I don't know if you've seen Stanceworks channel,
Yes.
but they've been putting a lot of emphasis into YouTube, and it's really just one guy, so it still feels like YouTube. It doesn't feel overproduced. But his video work is getting really good, but his fabrication ability is just insane. I mean, the stuff he's building is
Correct
awesome.
me if I'm wrong. He's swapping a.
K series into a Ferrari.
Yes.
Yeah,
The thumbnails alone. To
Yeah,
his
they're
videos,
killer. Yeah, but he's also the thing that got me on him though is he's got this Model A. I think it's a Model A. I don't know. I don't really know old cars, but he's built kind of a front suspension for it. It's got center lock, kind of F1 style wheels on it. It's very cool to look at. But he's done some videos on like breaking down building the suspension in CAD and stuff, and so that's actually what got me to subscribe, was just like seeing him go through that process, and he's got a lot of knowledge, so definitely worth watching. Very
His
well spoken
editing-
dude. Editing's really good. I mean, yeah, he's gonna be big. I mean, he's gonna be huge for sure. So that's pretty cool. So definitely follow those guys.
And this one, we'll send it home with this one.
Okay.
Watching your channel, first videos I can remember watching, under a carport,
Yeah.
jack stands, tools
If that.
outside.
Yeah.
I related because I put a body kit on a Mazda Miata.
Yeah. Sick.
And I can remember being outside with like a Walmart jack. I don't
Yeah.
even think I had jack stands.
Right.
Trying to mold the fiberglass onto the car, front bumper, rear bumper. So I related when I first seen your channel. But speak to the guy or girl who's just getting into cars.
Yeah.
But maybe they're discouraged. They don't have a big shop. They don't have the tools. They don't have this and that.
Yeah.
Just encourage them.
I mean, I think the thing is just to start. There's so much information on the internet that if you run into a problem working on your car, you can find someone who knows how to fix it. And that's my Porsche 911 is a good example for me. In recent histories, I bought this car. I knew nothing about the engine. I knew nothing about the cars, and just kind of bought it in the hopes I could get it running. And literally through YouTube and meeting people through this community, was able to pull the engine out, fix it, get it working, put it back in, and then do that a couple more times. And then now it's a car that I drive every day. And that's been my process from day one. Now I do have a shop now, which is really awesome. We pretty much don't get rained on unless you're standing in a bad spot in the shop, then you still get rained on. But when we started YouTube, you can go back and watch some of my early videos. I was in my driveway. I didn't even have a garage or a carport or anything. So if it was raining or snowing, like we were in the rain or the snow for that day. But it's just, if you want to work on cars, you just got to start. You're not going to learn by just watching videos. I tried that, didn't work. And you're not going to learn by just reading. You got to do a kind of a combination of reading and watching and then doing. So my best advice is find the cheapest car possible, or see if someone has like a free car they'll give away. They're out there, and just get one and try to make it work. Just try to make it work. And I think that's a good way to just learn what's going on under the hood of your car or in the bodywork or whatever. The first car I ever painted on the channel, you might know this.
Dodge.
It was the what's it called? Neon. Yep. Snowflake. I painted it with a roller, which was my attempt at like making some sort of viral content, and it was just, I think it just goes to show like there's ways to do whatever you want to do to your car, so you just gotta get out and do it.
Well, Caleb, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming.
I appreciate
It's a trip.
just the hospitality, the knowledge, everything more than you know.
Yeah, man.
You're an inspiration. We've got a motto on the channel.
Hey, if you ain't talking projects, we don't want to talk, baby.
We don't want to talk.